I will now explain to you how this particular procedure is carried out in the cath lab. Typically, my patient on the day of procedure would get admitted by about 7 o'clock in the morning, and after an initial evaluation by an anesthesiologist and the entire team, he would be taken up for the procedure by about 10:30 or 11 o'clock in the morning. The procedure lasts for about 1.5 to 2 hours, is carried out under local anesthesia, and the patient is speaking to us during this procedure. After the procedure, the patient is taken into ICU for about 24 hours of observation and can walk the very same day. This is the animation which shows you how this procedure is carried out. You can see that a sheath is passed into an artery in the groin, and through that sheath a wire is taken up right across through the aorta and is passed across a stenotic or a non-functional or a critically narrow aortic valve that you can see here. It is passed into the left ventricle. A balloon is passed and inflated to make space for the valve to be brought in and deployed. After this, the balloon is deflated and taken out. The guide wire stays in place because that forms the rail route over which the valve is brought in. The valve is loaded on a balloon, the balloon is inflated, the valve gets deployed, the balloon is deflated, and the entire assembly is taken out, and the valve starts to function immediately. And there is no further obstruction to the blood flow encountered by this particular chamber called the left ventricle. The procedure that you just saw is a balloon expandable TAVR valve. There is a self-expandable valve, and the animation of that is just shown here. The initial procedure is similar, where you cross the aortic valve with a wire, and instead of a balloon mounted valve, you have a self-expandable valve which is taken inside a sheath, and as soon as the sheath is removed, the valve gets deployed. As you can see here, this is the balloon dilatation of the critically narrow aortic valve. The balloon is deflated and is taken away, and then comes the self-expandable sheathed valve, which is placed exactly in position, and as soon as this sheath is removed, the valve is deployed and it becomes functional. For your knowledge, this is the actual valve which goes through a small catheter. It is crimped and is made to fit the size of 4.5 to 5.5 millimeters. This is the actual valve which goes and sits in the desirable position.